I'm Liyana Hassanel, and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. Over 142,000 individuals released from bankruptcy. And all investments offered via Telegram are scams. Good morning. A total of 142,510 individuals have been discharged from bankruptcy through the second chance policy as of June this year, surpassing the government's initial target of releasing 130,000 bankrupt individuals. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said this is an exceptional achievement by the Insolvency Department in helping the affected individuals, giving them a new lease of life and the opportunity to contribute to the economy.
Dan peluang kedua, kita anjurkan supaya ada langkah-langkah yang harus diketahui oleh mereka. Pertama, jangan ulangi kesilapan lalu. Kedua, memahami peluang-peluang yang ada yang disediakan oleh kerajaan. Dan melalui rangkaian jabatan dan kementerian yang pelbagai. Baik tekun atau MARA atau PUNB.
Anwar said this in a speech at the Insolvency Department's 100th anniversary celebration in Putrajaya on Thursday. He noted that people fall into bankruptcy due to various factors, including recklessness, business mistakes, a sluggish economy, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, it is the government's duty to take proactive measures to stimulate the economy, give those affected a second chance, and ensure that Malaysia remains competitive and prosperous. The second chance policy was first announced by Anwar when tabling the 2024 budget in October last year. The initiative aims to provide relief to up to 130,000 bankrupt individuals within a year of the enforcement of the Insolvency Amendment Act, which came into effect on October 6, 2023. It is designed to safeguard the interests of individuals with small-scale debts by releasing them from bankruptcy under specific conditions. Meanwhile, Anwar has denied claims that the monetary, fiscal and budget policies have failed to achieve the government's promise of reducing the country's debt and fiscal deficit. The Prime Minister emphasized that the government remains committed to lowering the national debt, which has reached 1.5 trillion ringgit and has not reneged on its promise. In a video posted on his Facebook page on Thursday, Anwar, who is also the finance minister, said that in 2021 and 2022, external and internal debts amounted to 100 billion ringgit respectively. However, since the Madani government took over, the borrowing trend has decreased to 93 billion ringgit last year and is projected to reduce further to 86 billion ringgit this year. Anwar also stressed that the government could not simply eliminate all debts.
Mengapa tidak boleh terus batal semua hutang? Maka dia menjejakkan projek-projek bantu rakyat, sekolah baru ataupun universiti dan pembangunan. Termasuk tanggungan kita membayar hutang-hutang lama. Kita tanggungan hutang itu tinggi. Sekarang 64% daripada KDNK.
The government also aims to reduce the debt level in stages from 64% to at least 60% of gross domestic product GDP, while simultaneously boosting confidence among both foreign and domestic investors. The national fiscal deficit has also been lowered to 5.0% of the GDP in 2023, from 5.6% in 2022. And this year it is projected to be reduced to 4.3%. At a function on Thursday night, the Prime Minister announced a donation of 1 million ringgit to the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia, NCCIM, in support of the government's efforts to encourage domestic and international investment. He also expressed his gratitude to the Chamber for its support in coordinating and understanding government policies, empowering the people and assisting in every foreign visit to attract new investments.
Oleh kerana sumbangan yang saudara berikan itu sangat baik, I have to take note and recognize your not only impressive but enormous contribution to the efforts of the government in encouraging investments from overseas. You have disburse funds for that purpose. You have undertaken such effort, so at least the minimum, the government should at least say thank you and recognize and approve 1 million ringgit, period.
Anwar said this at the NCCIM's 62nd anniversary gala dinner in Petaling Jaya. The Prime Minister also urged the private sector to collaborate closely with the government, emphasizing teamwork to expedite the nation's success, especially in economic development and investments.
Exploring Malaysia's ambitious goal to rank among the top 20 global startup ecosystems by 2030. Effective policies, international expansion challenges, and the societal impacts of Malaysia's dynamic startup scene. Money Matters with Chairman of the Malaysia Venture Capital and Private Equity Association, Eng Sai Kit, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
The decision by the Rural and Regional Development Ministry, KKDW, to close and merge 23 unprofitable subsidiary companies has led to a significant improvement in the performance of companies under the ministry. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said an initial performance report indicated that 100 subsidiaries had shown profits.
Setakat yang saya telah dapat laporan awal memperlihatkan bahawa terdapat perubahan yang sangat drastik dari segi syarikat yang rugi yang telah saya tutup ataupun saya mergerkan dengan syarikat yang untung, dan dengan ini kita telah berjaya untuk menjadikan sebahagian daripada syarikat-syarikat yang menjadi bebanan liability kepada syarikat yang untung.
Zahid was speaking to reporters after delivering a speech during the main program of the ministry's retreat in Kota Tinggi, Johor, on Thursday. He added that the closure and merger of the subsidiaries with profitable companies were also to prevent staff layoffs. According to Zahid, who is also the Rural and Regional Development Minister, Perda Venture and Kedah Group of companies were among the subsidiaries that reported profits in the first 8 months of this year, with earnings of 2.7 million ringgit and 243,706 ringgit respectively. Police on Thursday have emphasized that any investment offers made through Telegram application are scams. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department Director Datuk Seri Ramli Muhammad Yusof highlighted this issue, considering that numerous syndicates nowadays are luring individuals into investment scams via social media platforms. Ramli gave the warning at a press conference in Kuala Lumpur, as many individuals are still being deceived and falling into the traps set by fraud syndicates, despite repeated warnings and advice being issued through the media.
Semua mereka yang tertarik ke dalam kumpulan Telegram pelaburan ini, ramai juga yang terpedaya dan seterusnya membuat pelaburan-pelaburan yang akhirnya merugikan. Semua pelaburan ini adalah penipuan. Yang itu saya boleh kata.
Ramli added that despite relevant authorities frequently exposing the widespread investment fraud activities on social media, many people are still deceived and the amount of losses continues to rise each year. He also urged members of the public to be vigilant and protect themselves by not easily believing in any investment offers received through social media, thereby avoiding falling prey to scam syndicates. On Wednesday, Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil said that the Cabinet has instructed the Police, Attorney General's Chambers and Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, to strengthen and coordinate all aspects of investigation and prosecution in cases of cybercrimes, with a particular focus on scams, cyberbullying and sexual crimes against children. The suspect in the murder of former University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI student Nur Farah Kartini Abdullah will be charged at the Kuala Kubu Baru Magistrates Court on Friday. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan confirmed that the 26-year-old suspect will be charged for murder. In a statement on Thursday, Hussein said that the investigation paper had been completed and referred to the Public Prosecutor's Office, which gave the green light for the suspect to be charged under Section 302 of the Penal Code. The suspect, a police personnel from Perak, is currently in remand. He faces the death penalty or imprisonment for up to 40 years if not sentenced to death, as well as a minimum of 12 lashes if convicted. 25-year-old Nur Farah Kartini was reported missing on July 10th after delivering a rental car to a customer, before she was found dead at an oil palm plantation in Kampung Sri Kledang, Hulu Selangor on July 15th. Investigations have led police to several locations, including Sungai Trola and a tapioca farm in Slim River, Perak. Several of the victims' personal belongings have been recovered, including a smartphone, handbag, car key and purse, which are considered crucial evidence in the murder case. 10 people linked to 24.2 million ringgit illegal bank withdrawals were charged at the Kota Kinabalu Sessions Court with being members of an organised crime group. No plea was recorded from all of them who appeared before Judge Amir Shah Amir Hassan, and their plea will be recorded at the High Court.
Earlier, all the accused were brought to the Kota Kinabalu court under heavy police security at 8:22 a.m. They were charged under Section 130, subsection 1 of the Penal Code, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years imprisonment upon conviction. The accused include a bank manager, 38-year-old Irene Chin Yuk Thien, 53-year-old Christina at Caroline, Pinaus Itip, while the 8 others are a teacher, a contractor, 2 retirees, 2 unemployed individuals, a self-employed person and a fisherman. They are accused of being members of an organised crime group led by contractor 38-year-old Josephine J. Langkan. The court fixed September 13 for further mention and no bail was granted to all the accused. Previously, 14 suspects were arrested in connection with the case following raids in Sabah and the Peninsula and detained under Section 4, subsection 5 of the Security Offences Special Measures Act SOSMA 2012. In early June, police received 4 reports from account holders and bank staff in Petaling Jaya, Selangor after the victims noticed suspicious cash withdrawals from their fixed deposit accounts in Kota Kinabalu. It was reported that Bank Negara Malaysia had requested prompt refunds to all affected account holders following the fraudulent withdrawals of fixed deposits.
Deadly typhoon sweeps towards China's Fujian. This and more from the foreign front when we return.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Victory! Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Liyana, kalau nak bahagia kena banyak duit ke?
Tak juga. Macam-macam cara kita boleh cari bahagia.
Okey, kalau cendawan kita boleh masak apa?
Rasanya ada macam-macam menu boleh masak gula cendawan ni. Nanti kan Selasa ni.
Ambil dulu, bayar kemudian. Tak bagus tu.
Hati-hati. Takut terjerat dengan hutang.
Kolesterol tinggi dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenapa
Nak tegur takut pula nanti kena marah.
Alah, tak boleh ke nak tegur pasangan sendiri untuk kebaikan bersama kan?
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Apabila datang, ia boleh mengambil alih kesemuanya tubuh, minda dan hidup anda. Stres bukan sekadar tekanan perasaan tetapi boleh mengancam kesihatan secara keseluruhan. Kenalilah tanda-tanda stres sejak awal dan bincang mengenainya secara terbuka. Dapatkan sokongan moral dan emosi daripada orang di sekeliling anda serta bantuan profesional di saluran yang betul. Saksikan Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3.
The foreign news. Typhoon Gaimi is now sweeping towards southern China after wreaking devastation in Taiwan, killing at least 2 people and sinking a cargo ship. According to authorities, Typhoon Gaimi, the strongest typhoon to hit Taiwan in 8 years, has killed a motorist in Kaohsiung who was crushed by a tree, and a woman in eastern Hualien died after part of a building fell on her. Meanwhile, Taiwan's fire department said that a Tanzania-flagged cargo ship had sunk off the coast of Kaohsiung, forcing its 9 crew members to abandon ship in life jackets. Officials said the crew had contacted a nearby Taiwanese cargo ship, but when rescuers finally reached the area, visibility at the scene was very low and the winds were too strong to conduct a search. Gemi made landfall on the northeastern coast of Taiwan at about midnight on Wednesday, with gusts of up to 227 kilometers per hour, before it barreled towards China's Fujian province at 12:15 p.m. local time on Thursday. Meanwhile, a Philippine-flagged tanker carrying 1.4 million litres of industrial fuel capsized off the coast of Manila on Thursday morning, sparking fears of the worst oil spill in the country's history if all the fuel carried by the ship were to leak. According to authorities, 16 of the 17 crew members were rescued, while one crew member was killed after the MT Terra Nova went down amid heavy rains and rough seas fueled by Typhoon Gemi. It was reported that there is already an oil spill. However, strong winds and high waves were hampering a response. A Cambodian court fined an opposition leader over $1 million on Thursday for defaming the ruling Cambodian People's Party, CPP, last year. Phnom Penh Municipal Court found Candlelight Party leader Tiu Vanal guilty of public defamation and ordered him to pay around $1.5 million to the CPP. He was also ordered to pay $2,400 to the state. Vanal, however, was abroad and not present at the ruling. His lawyer said he was disappointed by the ruling and that his client had merely been expressing his opinion, adding that they would discuss whether to appeal. In an interview with foreign media in February, Vanal said the kingdom was getting worse in terms of democracy under the rule of Hun Manet. Hun Manet took power in 2023 after his father Hun Sen stood down after nearly 4 decades of iron-fisted rule. Thousands of demonstrators angry over the war in Gaza marched on the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked U.S. lawmakers for steady support amid his ongoing war on Gaza. Crowds carrying Palestinian flags and signs gathered near the Capitol, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and the arrest of Netanyahu, as prosecutors seek a warrant for him at the International Criminal Court. Ahead of Netanyahu's speech, security was reportedly increased at the Capitol, much of which was closed to the public. Scuffles with police also broke out as officers, who at times deployed pepper spray, kept protesters away from the seat of the U.S. Congress. French authorities have launched a major operation to clean up computers infected by a cyber espionage program that has struck millions of users worldwide. According to officials, investigators were targeting a network of bots suspected of infecting computers with PlugX malware and of stealing data from them, notably for purposes of espionage. Analysts and investigators had managed to take control of a server that was controlling millions of infected computers and administered a fix. They launched the operation on July 1st, and it is expected to last several months, having already aided victims in several European countries. While it did not cite a specific threat to the Paris Olympics, the French government cybersecurity agency warned last week that ransomware attacks will be inevitable during the Games, which officially open on Friday. France enjoy a good start. Argentina suffer defeat. Sports when we come back.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Baca doa dulu. Allah Akbar, lupa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftahli abwaba rahmatika. Ya Allah, bukakanlah pintu-pintu rahmatmu untuk kami. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Lagi satu jangan lupa, kita kena niat iktikaf dulu. Okey. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nawaitu li'iktikaf fil hazal masjid lillahi ta'ala. Sahaja aku beriktikaf dalam masjid ni kerana Allah Ta'ala. Baru boleh masuk. Ini tak lupa. Jom.
Sorry lah.
Sports, the 2024 Paris Olympics. France opened their campaign in the men's football with a comfortable 3-0 win against the USA. Alexandre Lacazette broke the deadlock a minute after the hour mark with a low shot from outside the area. Michael Olise then put the result beyond doubt 8 minutes later as he fired in a left-footed shot from outside the box. With the win, France lead Group A with 3 points, 2 points above second-place New Zealand. In the Group B match, Argentina suffered a controversial defeat in their opening game, losing 1-2 to Morocco in Saint-Etienne. Soufiane Rahimi drew the first blood as he finished off a fine team move to give Morocco the lead just before the break. Morocco doubled the advantage in the 49th minute when they were awarded a penalty after Julio Soler brought Ilyas Ahomach down inside the area. Rahimi stepped up and calmly converted the spot kick. Giuliano Simeone halved the deficit for Argentina in the 68th minute, tapping in a fierce drive from the left side. The La Albiceleste thought they had equalized in the 16th minute of added time at the end of the match when Christian Medina headed in from close range. The crowd's reaction to the goal prompted referee Glenn Nyberg to order the players from the pitch, and the match resumed almost 2 hours later in an empty stadium, with Morocco holding on for the win after a VAR review ruled out Medina's goal for offside in the build-up. The defeat saw Argentina stand in third, while Morocco lead the group with 3 points. In the Group C match, Spain made a victorious start, beating Uzbekistan 2-1 in a match played at Paris Parc de France. Spain took the lead in the 29th minute when Marc Pubel tapped home a free kick. The advantage lasted till seconds before the interval when Uzbekistan were awarded a penalty after Muhammad Hodir Hamralif went down in the area under a challenge from Balkubarsi. Eldor Shomurodov smashed home the spot kick for a 1-0 scoreline going into the break. Sergio Gomez struck the winner for Spain midway through the second half, giving Spain a 2-1 victory and the 3 points. Pisang goreng seller gets 2 years imprisonment. The details after this short break.
Kekal cakna, kekal sihat. Hello Doktor merungkai pelbagai persoalan kesihatan anda.
Penyakit kronik, pemakanan, kesihatan mental, semuanya demi kesejahteraan anda.
Setiap minggu bersama tenaga pakar kesihatan terbaik Malaysia, segalanya terjawab dalam Hello Doktor setiap Ahad
5.30 petang di TV3
dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Yana, kalau nak bahagia, kena banyak duit ke?
Tak juga. Macam-macam cara kita boleh cari bahagia.
Okey, kalau cendawan kita boleh masak apa?
Rasanya ada macam-macam menu boleh masak bila cendawan ni. Nantikan Selasa ni.
Ambil dulu, bayar kemudian. Tak bagus tu.
Hati-hati. Takut terjerat dengan hutang.
Kolesterol tinggi dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenapa
Nak tegur takut pula nanti kena marah.
Alah, tak boleh ke nak tegur pasangan sendiri untuk kebaikan bersama kan?
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Mira nak kongsikan sedikit panduan keselamatan anak ketika di luar rumah. Pastikan keadaan sekeliling, pantau pergerakan anak dan jangan biarkan mereka berkeliaran jauh daripada anda. Elakkan pemakaian barang kemas yang berlebihan. Yang terakhir, boleh bawa whistle bersama. Jerit sekuat hati atau tiup whistle untuk menarik perhatian orang sekeliling sekiranya diganggu atau merasa terancam. Dapatkan pelbagai informasi bermanfaat bersama Nona setiap Ahad jam 2 petang di TV3.
Welcome back. The family of 6-year-old Albertine Liu Jiahui, who went missing last Saturday, has no connection with the 5 suspects detained to assist in the investigation of the child's abduction case. According to Johor Police Chief Commissioner M. Kumar, the police are still investigating the motive of the kidnapping.
Kita masih dalam siasatan dan setelah siasatan dilengkapkan, pihak polis akan memaklumkan hasil siasatan atau perkembangan siasatan dan akan berkongsi dengan masyarakat melalui rakan-rakan media. Tiada.
So ini adakah satu yang dirancangkan yang
masih dalam siasatan.
He said the remand on the first 4 suspects will end on Friday and they will be released on police bail, but there is no necessity for an extension. He added that the remand for the 5th suspect who was captured with the victim will end next Monday and is being investigated under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act. When asked if there would be new arrests related to the case, he said it is too early to finalize that as the investigation is still ongoing. Albertine Liu went missing at a shopping mall in Iskandar Putri last Saturday. The missing persons case was later reclassified as a kidnapping case under the Penal Code. A pisang goreng seller has been sentenced to 2 years in prison and fined 2,000 ringgit after pleading guilty to 2 charges of kidnapping 2 girls. Magistrate Siti Hajar Ali imposed the sentence on 31-year-old Shahriza Othman after he pleaded guilty to the charges at the Sungai Besar Magistrates Court.
He was charged under Section 363 of the Penal Code, which carries a maximum sentence of 7 years imprisonment and a fine. According to the charge sheet, Shahriza kidnapped 2 girls aged 8 and 6 at Jalan Ikan Emas 2, Taman Ikan Emas in Jeram, Selangor at 6:30 p.m. on July 19th. In mitigation, National Legal Aid Foundation lawyer Muhammad Mukri Muhammad Khairi, who represented Shahriza, pleaded for a light sentence for both charges as he said the client resorted to his actions because he longed for daughters. However, the judge ruled that the court must mete out a deterrent sentence and take public interest into consideration to serve as a lesson to the accused and the public due to the increasing number of kidnapping cases in the country. Based on the facts of the case, the girls were playing in front of their house when Shahriza, driving a Perdua Beza, approached them. He persuaded the victims to accompany him to deliver letters by giving them a 50 ringgit note. The girls followed him to a grocery store and went for a ride around Jeram. They stopped at his house before he returned them home at around 7:45 p.m.
As Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look as villagers celebrate the annual Angkor Festival in Lhasa of southwest China to pray for good harvests of crops. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for tuning in and be well, Malaysia.